Hi, I'm Arinoth, and I play Roderick King.
Hi, I'm Legacy, and I play Loretta.
Hi, I'm Luca, and I inflict the character of Frederick Perler on all of you.
Hi, I'm Tink, and I'm playing Helena McLeod.
Hi, I am Vironz. I am playing Sister Rosalie.
And I'm Solomon. I play the librarian as well as everyone else, including the crowned growth. My true form, no, just kidding. When we last left our investigators, they were working to finalize their trek into the Mansus to finally bring an end to the works of the crowned growth. They had brought upon the labyrinth season, Numa, to Brunkrug, where most of the regular people of Brunkrug had been whisked away, replaced by pilgrims and various visitors from other places, other times. After they had made a little bit of a trek around the island and explored a little bit of Numa, they found that their hush house was being visited by Professor Hengers, the keeper of the Mare Key. This key was the last tool they needed in order to ensure that the crown growth could not come out of its stay in the hellish void that is known as Nowhere. But in order to lock that door, to keep it shut for time immortal, or at least until it's opened again by someone who is investigating or perhaps trying to play with powers beyond their ken, they need to get to it. And to get to it, they must delve deep into the wood, into the Mansus, to a lower place. After receiving the key and receiving the blessings of various groups and preparations done by Mr. Roderick and Miss Loretta, you all headed into the archway at the top of the tower and stepped into the Mansus proper, waking, a thing most do not do. As you head inside, you feel that same light chill as the woods, snow-covered as they are, greet you. But they don't feel as cold as before. It seems like even still they're beginning to warm, the snow melting to make the air humid. The trees looking less thick and lively and more like they've been shaved almost, like there's been someone who has taken a scraper to them and just sheared them away. The lands have become less firm, more boggy. It seems less of a wood and more of a swamp now. The work of the crown growth having extended outward, even to where you are. The librarian looks around, his eyes a bit wide. This is not how I remember leaving this place. It seems that the crown growth has sped up. I think that it's aware. I think it knows that we plan to stop it.
That's not good.
I don't usually care to come a-knocking when things like this know that we will be knocking.
Still, I think that the fact that it has worked to push itself means that it knows that we have a chance to stop it. And so, I think that we should go ahead and move on. Are you all ready?
As ready as I can be.
Yes.
Yes, exactly that.
Indeed.
Good. And then he pulls a book from within his jacket and opens it up. It looks very similar to the book that Roderick was using. Maybe a bit more of a older, less edited version. I believe that I can use this to lead the way, though it will take a lot of my focus. I do hope you all will keep me from guiding us into a bog, yes?
As best we can.
I think we can manage.
Thank you. And with his book in hand and beginning to chart out the path, he moves forward. I would like all of you to go ahead and give me 2 rolls. The first roll I need is determination with a plus 20 thanks to the preparations that Loretta and Roderick performed last session.
Alrighty.
Okay. Well, okay. With the plus 20, I make it. Because I rolled a 39 and my determination is normally 25.
Okay, determination roll. Here we go.
I succeed.
1.
This is an excellent time for Fred to just die immediately, just eaten by the crown growth or whatever.
Yeah, I succeed.
Rocks fall. Everyone dies.
Okay, so I have a determination of 40. I get plus 20?
Yes.
Okay, so we're missing a cool 17 that I would have needed to clear the roll. So,
Would you like to utilize any of the tarot?
as an alternative to being like eaten by the well or whatever, yeah, sure.
Fair enough. We do have a few things at hand. I will make one note, though.
Uh-huh.
As the crowned growth is your adversary, the dice within his card are not available to you.
Yeah,
Makes
okay,
sense.
that's fair. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I always have a fun time navigating the Hallowed Haven server, trying to figure out which channel I'm actually looking for.
You'll be looking for the references and announcements within the Nowhere Histories tab.
Okay, and here's the actual list. The Madrigad, the Flower Maker, the Vagabond, the Horned Axe, the Forge of Days, the Colonel, and the Red Grail. I think the Colonel believes very strongly in determination. What does he get?
2d4, 3d6, and a d8.
Wow, and he's got really nice ones. Let's try a 3d6 off of the Colonel.
Noted.
One of the three. Don't actually roll 3d6. That would probably not work out in your best interest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hold on a moment. So I'm going to replace the tens place with this, okay?
Alrighty.
Okay, so it would 27, and then we need, I think, 60 to clear. So,
Thus turning a dreadful failure into a regular success.
hooray!
All right. And now, with all of you having made that, I need a roll of your physique or your dexterity.
Oh my god, the horrors never
Absolute
end.
shit for me.
Okay. See?
Hmm.
I feel guilty picking dexterity because it's better. But I mean,
Okay,
You should
I
not
get
feel
a 20.
guilty for utilizing your better steps.
okay.
Just barely made it with that.
Does it Does it matter? Is the result going to change which one for which one we choose? Because I have the exact same value in both of them.
Nope.
Okay.
So my dex is 80 and I rolled a 41, so yay!
Let's see here. Y'all ready for amazing rolls?
Always.
baby?
Let's see it.
Okay, so I actually succeeded on that.
There you go.
Not by much.
See, I wasn't expecting myself to succeed, but I actually rolled under a 30, so.
Doesn't matter if it was by a mile or by the skin of your teeth, a success is a success.
So glad. So glad I had a really good
This way, you get to keep the skin on your teeth.
Yeah. Ew.
As you all are working your way through this otherworldly bog, you feel a intense pressure. It's almost a low growl that is trying to worm its way into your head, as if it's trying to make a catch to begin expanding within your body and mind. But you're all able to push that feeling away, that extension of the power of the crowned growth. And as you do, you can see that the bog itself is beginning to spread and almost try to rise its levels against you. But with your physique roll, with your training and your preparations, you are able to get to dry ground to pull the librarian along and to avoid having to get your shoes muddier than they would be, and to find out what might be waiting in those darker waters. As you trudge along, you can feel desperation. The entities of the Mansus are pushing back. This god from nowhere, this one that had been banished to an effective void, is one that could consume all given half of a chance. And so while most would not get involved, there are other powers at work. Roderick, you can feel the tingle on your skin like ants running across it as the mother of ants sends her own power outwards to halt the spread of this. You can all hear the beating of wings as the moth works to spread its own pollen, its own spores of a kind, to prevent this expansion. And as you work your way through this darker place, as lights are beginning to go out, Sister Rosalie, you feel a warmth as your own holy symbol. You can feel the prayers of so many others focused on it and letting off the intense, unkind glow of the lantern, pushing back a darkness that is used to try to blind and obscure, used to try to get you losing your way.
Everyone make sure to stick around me.
Oh, yes.
Roderick will indeed stick close.
Yeah.
As you continue making your way in, you can hear that there are voices within the trees, within the extensions of the bog. There are individuals, some armored, some almost more like writhing mounds of flesh, that are working across the lands as they are and trying to almost bail the waters of the bog out elsewhere. You can all see that there are beings, longs, and possibly even names, entities that have found immortality, and those that have devoted their service to an hour in the hopes of gaining favor and power. All are working in tandem. Even those that have rivalries and grudges are setting them aside because this is a much more important thing to handle. You see two familiar figures that are guiding figures this way and that. You see a familiar woman with small round spectacles who had spoken to you so many days past. And you see a gentleman with a pencil mustache in a bright, almost glowing yellow and black pinstripe suit, as the Baldemarian and Everett Lapidoth are there, perhaps not in the flesh, but physically enough. They turn to you and you see that Lapidoth is smiling, whereas Teresa is more curious. I did not expect you to make your way here so quickly. You have what you need then, all of you.
Yes, we do. At least I would like to believe so.
Roderick will just nod quietly.
Same for now.
I think Frederick's gonna shrug.
Do not count yourself so lesser, Mr. Perler. Physicality is just as important, even in this land.
Well, if you say it like that, then and he's gonna fish his switchblade out of his sock and say, "I've got this."
Perfect. And you, Miss Payne, are you ready for what must be done?
I'm always ready.
Fantastic. And then she looks briefly, but with a small break in her mask, to the librarian. It's good to see you again. And she will just depart off to handle guiding other entities, other fulgents and beings of light to push off this darkness. Lapidoth, however, is just all smiles. Well, I take it that you all have a general idea of what must be done. Close that particular door.
Suppose so.
Close the door and stop the spread.
Fair enough. Easiest way to do that is to make sure that the door stays locked with a certain amount of power. Rituals and the like will help. I have faith in y'all's abilities.
I have faith in you.
Well, ain't that sweet? Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to teach some of these boys how to dance proper against something like this.
Uh-oh.
Best of luck to y'all. Not that kind of dancing, Miss McLeod.
Right. I'm sorry.
But when you hear that beat, when it's stronger than ever, you go ahead and let it just flow right through you. You hear?
Oh, yes, sir.
Sazerac's on me whenever y'all come back to the land of the living. And he will just not move, but almost like glide or like shimmer and just begin being other places as opposed to moving. The librarian is looking weaker. It looks like he is just not used to being outside of the hush house for extended periods of time, but he looks to you all with a smile. Let's go ahead and get this done, shall we?
Are you all right?
I will be. I'm dedicated to making it out of this. To taking care of myself. And he looks to Loretta with a small but warm smile. And I look forward to seeing you all out of this as well.
Likewise.
Yes.
God bless.
Well, I guess there's no better time like the present, so, are we ready?
Already as will ever be.
I'm ready.
Good. Sister Rosalie, if you would mind walking in step with me. I think that light may be more necessary the further we go.
I do agree.
Thank you. And as you move to take up a step alongside him, he leans a little on you. Not intensely, but you can feel that there is a bit of his weight being used against yours. More just as a guidance and as a little bit of a crutch. But not to where you feel like he would fall over and take you with him.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing my best to keep him supported and moving along.
All right. You head off from where these collections of entities are. You can feel the desperation from all of them and from the powers that they represent. This is basically do or die. There is no attempting this again. It will be the end, one way or the other. And you head down. You're not sure when the decline began, when you actually were on a hill as opposed to on a level plane, but you can feel yourselves descending. The feeling of pressure changing with every step downward. The gradient getting steeper and steeper, not to the point where you all lose your footing, but definitely felt as you have to be a little more mindful of how you step. And I would like a roll of intelligence from everyone.
I pass.
Bad argument. I see.
Oh no. I think I might need to.
I think so too.
Yeah, because that's really bad. Let me go
Father God. Oh, okay. No. I'm stupid too. Don't worry, guys.
Looking for the thing.
I succeed.
So noted.
I don't know what to use for this.
Roderick, did you also pass?
I did indeed.
Okay.
Any suggestions?
Forge of Days?
There is now light shining in a darkened room, so the Forge of Days, with its focus on bringing light and existence into nothing, makes sense. So that is also a D12.
Ooh, that's a little scary.
The kernel is a lantern power as well, which has to do with intellect and light. So.
And the light, yes. One of the kernel's dice, be it a D4, a D6, or a D8, might also do you well.
Yeah, I think I'll go with the D4 from there, because I need help bad. I gotta get back to the right one. Oh, cool. So that would make that an 18 instead of a 98, yes?
Fantastic.
Yay!
For everyone who did succeed, you can tell that you are not alone here. As you get deeper into these depths, this land that has nowhere seeping out from the doorway into it, working to not just spread the crown growth, but locally spread the nothing, the void. You can feel other things here. Older things. Malicious things.
Mr. Parlor, you might want to be on your guard.
I've walked through a lot of darkness, clutching a knife before, and I have to tell you, as nice as the knife is, it tends to be the darkness wins out.
As you are making your way forward, you all are capable of pushing back this sense of dread upon you, thanks to the preparations done, again, by Loretta and Roderick. But you feel like as the further you get in, the more it will push against your mind, against your psyche. And there will be a fight in a way. As you keep this descent up, you can feel the incline get deeper to the point where as you are walking, you never really realize that it went from grassland and muddy area to steps. Ancient, well-hewn, but well-kept steps. As you're just constantly heading downward further and further into this leaking hell. Only hoping that there will be a way to come out again. And as you make your way down there, you come across what looks to be a rounded platform. There is a small area with twisted, gnarled trees it's interesting to see in this place, given that there was no plant life along the walls, at the sides of the steps. The librarian, who just kept breathing heavier and heavier with each step, is looking to Sister Rosalie, sweating. May we take a brief reprieve here?
Yes, please, let's rest. You need to rest.
Thank you. And he settles against the tree. And I would like all of you to give me rolls of, let's go ahead and make it intelligence or night arts.
Oh god.
Nope.
23, and I think I got a 30 or a 40 intelligence. So
Fantastic.
13. Ooh.
Wow. Yeah, mine's 50, but I rolled an 80 and I don't want to use it up another die, so we're just going to live with it.
My intelligence is 70, so I passed that.
Fantastic.
To echo the question Vironz had before, in this particular case, does which skill you're using change the outcome?
A little bit, but not intensely so.
Okie dokie. Because I passed for both, I'd be going off of night arts considering where we are.
Fair enough. For those who rolled intelligence, you can feel that the presences in the darkness around you are absent. There is only one presence that you really feel here. And for those of you who succeeded with your night arts, you can feel that presence. And as you look at the trees around, you see that almost burned into them, there are masks that look akin to comedy masks. Laughing. And then you begin hearing the laughter. But it's not a raucous sort of loud roaring laugh. It's almost like soft tittering. And suddenly you begin to smell tobacco smoke and tea. And those of you with knowledge of the darker arts know that this is a different, long lost hour.
Only the people with night arts are hearing laughter and the smells and such.
As everyone looked around, they were beginning to take in the smells and the laughter, but they can just feel that there's only one presence here. There's only one particular entity, aside from the lot of you.
Mr. Perler, if you can, please do your best to defend me and the librarian. I fear that we might be the weakest out of our group.
Frederick turns to look over at her, and his eyes are wide, and he's a little freaked out for probably the first time since meeting all of these folks. I mean, he had been like confused and sort of irritated by the occult before, but this is like, we've arrived at way too goddamn much.
Fair enough. And you suddenly hear a soft slurping noise and turn to see that the librarian is stock still, looking pale at a green-gloved hand that rests on his shoulder, 2 fingers holding a extended cigarette holder, and the other hand bringing a small cup, china cup, to the full red lips of a very pale, admittedly horse-faced woman. Her lips are a very intense blood red. Her teeth, when she smiles at you, she has a set of buck teeth that have a small gap between the two front teeth. And big red eyes that look out at all you, matching the blood red hair and what looks to be a long red horse-like tail. She wears a very form-fitting pale green dress, and you notice that she does not have human legs. Her legs are hooved like a horse's. And those of you who succeeded your dark arts or night arts roll know that this is an entity that represents the hour 27, one of the lost hours, known as the Marin Tree. Well, good evening.
And nobody else says
Good
anything.
evening.
Oh, you'd say good evening as well.
Rosalie is going to bite her tongue here.
Ma'am?
Hello?
Man. Well, it's been so long since anyone's treated me with such kind, respectful moniker. It's so good to see you, sir. And she will just take a, bowl-like green hat atop her head with a red feather in it and just sort of tip it to you, and which you see very horse-like ears that are sort of tucked into it.
Frederick is just going to return a nod.
Well, now. It's been so long since I've met with anyone aside from a very particular friend. Been a little while since I've been outside of nowhere. So this is a rare treat to get to talk to people from the other side of things. Tell me, is this sort of attire still in fashion, as she just poses and shows off a dress that looks like it's maybe a decade or two out of date? Still looks good, just passé in terms of fashion sense.
Perhaps some, but not all.
Think slowly.
Well, ain't you just a sweet little thing? And she just moves the hand coming up off of the librarian, and he just looks like he just takes a very deep exhaled breath, like he looks like he's about to pass out. And then she just comes over and gently pats Helena's cheek. It feels wrong. Despite the fact she's wearing gloves, her hand feels very cold. Oh dear, you're positively shivering. Please, have yourself a cup of tea. It should warm you right up. And she just pulls up her hand that was holding the cigarette holder and offers you a China cup of tea that she did not have before.
Oh, thank you very much. She'll take it.
Everyone who also passed the night arts roll knows that one should not drink anything from the gods of nowhere. It is akin to getting fed by Hades.
Here. Let me take that, Helena. It's got cool a little bit. You don't want to burn your mouth now, do you?
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. And she'll hand it over.
Miss,
Yeah.
What do you intend to gain out of chatting with us?
Well, first off, a little bit of excitement. It's been so long since I've gotten to talk to anyone aside from a very important person to me. And those of you who know about the mare in the tree know that there's one particular hour that she has very, very forbidden liaisons with, known as the Ring U or the Malachite, who represents the hour 3 a.m.
Now, I must ask, why are you here specifically? Why are you here with us?
Well, I wanted to get to meet you all, because I had heard that you were going to be doing something to shut that door again.
And?
I wanted to make sure that you all were worthy of closing that door.
Why does that concern you?
Well, because I have to be on the other side of that door with other things. Other people that were pushed out, killed in some cases, but just banished in others. I have to hear the grumbling and the rumbling of the one y'all are trying to go ahead and keep out of this here place.
We have already seen what it has done to other histories.
I have too. It's quite boring what it has in store. But I want to make sure that the end result that y'all are going for is not going to be boring.
What would bore you?
Oh, things being exactly the same as they were. Or becoming something just uneventful. The roaring mass that is the crowned growth is a pinnacle of boredom to me. But so is just another quiet little history where there are no more great inventions, no more great strides from those who seek power and those who wish to learn. I get the distinct feeling, and she just leans around to sort of sniff at all of you. You all do have the capability of doing wonderful things. Impossible wonderful things. I just wanted to make sure that I was right and that y'all reach such heights.
I'm gonna take a step closer to her. She react in any way?
Just a slight tilt of the head that's more like an animal tilting its head than a person.
All right. Now, I'm curious. Are there other doors? Is there one you would like to perhaps be behind?
I'd very much like to be able to stay here in the Mansus. Just be on the other side of this door, this particular side of it. But I don't think that would really truck too well with the others. They don't particularly cotton to me, aside from my dear sweetheart. But perhaps if someone were to make it a bit easier for me to be able to just slip in every once in a while and then slip back before anyone realizes it. Someone were to keep that key y'all got in your pocket.
Did we make any promise about returning the key to the Legion? Because I don't remember if that was part of the contract. I think we just received the key.
Yeah, I don't think we had any obligation to give it back.
I guess this might be metagaming technically, but I feel very obviously that it is a bad idea to give her the key.
Roderick's just gonna say, well, we were given use of the key, not guardianship of the key, so
She did expect it back by a certain time.
it isn't really. Yeah, he's saying.
Oh, that's true.
He's saying to the person. So we were given use of the key, not guardianship of the key. So it's not really ours to hand out.
No. We have to return it.
Well, when does the original keeper of that key, as she is, expect it back? Doesn't have to be right away now, does it?
I believe she said by the end of the season.
Yes.
Well, if I remember right, that depends on when the next Labyrinth season is now, doesn't it? And she just sips at her tea again.
It would be unwise to play such games with someone who's more powerful.
True. Unwise, but then when is fun and ambition wise?
Now, Miss, I'm sure you might understand why we are a bit wary of having to give you this. Give you the option or the ability. Are you aware?
I am.
And you do understand that even if we do give you what you want, we can't actually keep the key. And we cannot get it back again either.
I understand.
Keep our word.
Hey, I suppose that's admirable. No fun, but admirable.
Though for now, there's nothing stopping you from having your fun.
That's true. I can go and have a time with my sweetheart.
Indeed, until we need to call on you again to lock the door.
Oh, I'll make sure to lock the door on my way out. Don't you worry about that.
We will lock the door. We will call on you, and you will be on the other side, unfortunately. Perhaps we can change the outcome of what is on the other side of the door.
Sister Rosalie,
Yes.
I would like you to please go ahead and make me a... Let's go ahead and call it a negotiate roll if you have that skill.
I do.
Then please make me a roll of negotiation. And anyone who wants to assist with also with an allure or negotiate skill can go ahead and give you advantage, thus giving you a plus 10 to your stat or skill.
I have a 50 in negotiate.
Yeah, I'll use my negotiate skill to give her a plus 10 as well. Unless it's just 1 plus 10.
Up to 3 people can go ahead and give a plus 10 to the good sister.
I volunteer as tribute.
All right, so that's 2. Frederick or Loretta, do you also wish to assist?
I don't think I'm very good at that, actually. So I'll probably let Loretta go.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll give it up.
Alrighty. So you're going to be rolling negotiate with a plus 30.
As long as I don't roll 100, we should be fine then. There we go.
The mare in the tree tilts her head one way, then the other, and then smiles brightly. I suppose when you call me, I'll go ahead and head on home. And make sure to help pull along the other one who ain't supposed to be here.
The one who's trying to destroy here in the same very boring way.
Indeed. Best to leave y'all to help things be joyous and jazz things up a bit. Yeah?
Perhaps you can look through the keyhole. Observe.
Perhaps I shall. Well, in that case, and she just waves her hands, and some of the gnarled trees move to the side, just leaving an opening for you all to continue heading back down. I suppose I will go ahead and bid y'all adieu. Y'all be careful now. I'd be saddened if I heard that some of y'all got taken in with it or struck down.
It was very nice to meet you.
And you.
Perhaps one day we can meet under better circumstances.
Perhaps. The histories are ever changing as much as they can. Perhaps it will change enough for us to become friends. Maybe. As you all are moving past, she does step in front of Loretta again. I'm just gonna be careful here. Make sure you know what exactly might be called upon for you to do. Locking the door ain't so simple as just turning the key. Y'all might have to sacrifice something.
I am aware of what might come. But I've been prepping my whole life to do something like this. And I don't let anything get in my way. Not even sacrifice. And she... that the usual feminine smirk that she has turns into a very stone cold, very uncaring face. And she'll make way.
Good girl. You're gonna go far, kid. And she just looks back after Loretta as the trees close back again behind her. Down the steps you go, unsure of just how long you've been traveling, how far you've gone. You feel as though if you were back in the waking world, you might be at the bottom of the ocean. Hell, at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. So deep down to the point where the humid air has become still and stagnant. And you can feel the presence crawling out from a doorway. It is a grand stone jagged thing, ancient with all manner of old writings on it in various languages that you can see, including cracks in the door that those of you who had long studied it can see that it is crack track. That there are cracks that have been made specifically to actually empower the door as opposed to weaken it. The physical shell of it may be weaker, but the occult power, the soul of the door itself is strengthened, but it is being forced open. You can see the roiling, writhing mass that is the crowned growth working to push its way through. It's disgusting. It is a vile hulk, a heap of carrion and bog. It is an end of things. The librarian looks to you all and says, "We need to close that. And I need to help lock it." I would like to ask what everyone's dexterity score is, please.
70.
80.
What the hell?
50.
I'm a ballerina, yo.
50.
30.
Oh, no.
So noted.
Meanwhile,
will-
I'm holding my face in shame.
And so we will begin with Helena. You can feel that rhythm, that pulse. It is beating louder, stronger, faster in your head, in your heart, in every vein across your body. The heart is asking you to dance.
Oh.
And you can feel power in your body. That each movement will be akin to a stroke of a sword, or every leap being the blast of a cannon. Your movements, the way that you contort and shift yourself, will have power here.
Okay. Well, she was told that when she felt that she was supposed to do it. So, yep. Sorry, brain died. So dexterity?
I will take a dexterity roll, or I would also accept a roll of stagecraft.
They are both the same number.
Fair enough.
So, I guess stagecraft. Da-da-da-da. 32 out of 80.
With a 32 out of 80, you begin dancing with this rhythm. It is not any beat that you've felt before. The heart is taking on a different time. It is faster. It is much more intense and violent. And you can feel that energy flowing through you. And as you pirouette, it flows out of you. And you can feel that each shift of your body is a declaration of your intent to keep the crowned growth from coming in. Each wave across your form sends off intense energies that push the crown growth back. And you can feel that the heart is with you, and the dances of so many others, perhaps your new friend Clovette as well, is with you, empowering you, focused entirely on what you are doing. You are leading perhaps one of the largest productions with the greatest hope in modern history. And it feels joyous.
Wonderful.
Mr. Perler,
Hello.
you are a man of not great occult means as far as your life has gone.
Well, you didn't have to say it like that, but yeah.
But you are a man of determination. You are a man of will. You are one who knows what you wish to do, and you have the drive to get it.
Uh-huh.
You know that you must stand against this. You have tools at your disposal, your knife. You find yourself with a rifle in hand that perhaps you don't remember packing, but feels right, feels heavy, and feels hot.
It'll probably be the warmest thing that we've put hands on in nowhere this whole time, so sure.
And you can just feel like it's wanting you to stand against this thing, to be a bulwark of physical capability, to be a man standing against a god and smiling, and to fight back with all things that men do, that you know men do best. Violence.
All men stand against God in their own way. That's what it means to be alive. He'll aim another shot, same as he always ever did, and looks through the scope out into the darkness. Is there anything that he sees worth seeing?
You see that there are, within this bulbous mass, there are places where veins meet, arteries, that normally on a regular person might be hard to particularly aim for. But on this larger mass, this hulking monstrosity of flesh and rot, much easier, especially for someone of your talents.
Okay. I'll sort of burst those little balloons, those tumors that flick to the mass.
Very well.
Let me get a
Please
shooting
give me
check?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's a 27, and I think I'm rolling with what is this? An 80, yeah. So I think the shots are pretty clean.
That they are. Each shot is like a bell being run, like a church bell. Each time you pull the slide back to eject a shell, it is almost singing to you, literally, as you inflict violence upon this greater being, this ancient, unknowable entity with your own worldly ways. And it feels good. It is you extending the lives of others by standing against this now. It's a different kind of violence than what you're perhaps used to, but it feels different. It feels almost righteous and warm in this dark place. So very warm and comforting. Loretta and Roderick. Loretta, you feel the hand of the librarian move to you, onto your shoulder. Loretta, would you help me tender my resignation to the Hush House? There have been things that it has given me that I think would be better suited to keeping this thing back. I will gladly give all except for my life in order to help lock the door. Would you help me do this?
If that is what you want. I hope that you're doing this of your own volition.
I am. I'm not doing it as the librarian. I am doing it as Christopher Alopoli. And I would very much like it after we've done this, if perhaps you would travel with me.
I think I'd like that. Christopher.
Thank you. And he will roll up his sleeves and show marks on his arms, tattoos and alchemical marks that he had made to empower himself and connect himself to the powers that are. Some of them are glowing, as there is a wealth of the aspects at play here. I will be ready for you to help with the sacrifice.
Be safe.
Always. And he will begin focusing and other symbols along his arms and along his body, and even across his glasses will begin forming. The glasses that are, I believe, currently being held by Sister Rosalie.
The librarian had them last.
Ah, yes. The glasses from the librarian of another history flow from his jacket and out, standing before him. A focus for all of these energies that is beginning to pile in. Roderick, you can feel the power of doors, the power of the aspect of knock, the power that the mother of ants has worked to begin just bestowing upon you. You know that one of the easiest ways to call upon this power is to make a door. And while all wounds are doors, there are other ways to do so. Any sort of break can be a door. A break in clothing, a break in stone. Anything that creates an opening is a door where power can flow out.
Does there happen to be anything in the vicinity, like a stone with a boulder with a crack in it, or?
There does look to be a keystone from the door that is holding back the or trying to hold back the crowned growth, that with enough focus and enough pleading to the Mother of Ants, you could create an opening and let her power flow through.
And I will attempt to use the keystone, and I will freshly reopen the scars that I had before in order to add my own little bit of a door to the mix to see if it might be more effective that way.
Give me a roll
Combining
of
both types of wounds, I guess.
Give me a roll of Night Arts with a plus 20.
Already. Well, it's a 97, but that's a success with the plus 20.
Very nice. As you let your own door into your body open, you can feel her presence, a smile on you from afar. And you can feel the energy flowing from yourself and from the keystone, just cracking open enough to let more power flow outwards into these glasses. Sister Rosalie,
Yes.
you can feel the prayers of others with you. You can feel so many souls praying for this salvation, this effective stand against the devil, against the end of things, against the end of light. And you can feel them crying out for you to save them from perdition. And you know that the power of the lantern, of the unconquered sun, is needed here.
Yeah, it is. It very much is.
If you would please roll me Bright Arts with a plus 10.
I pass.
And the prayers flow outwards from you as you speak the ancient phrases, Latin flowing from you like a sermon outwards into this darkness. And it focuses in on the powers that are. Focuses in to push back this dark god. And you can just feel the way that people are dedicated here, the warmth that they have, and the warmth of the lives around you, of your acquaintances that you had not ever thought you'd be fighting alongside. Loretta. The ritual has all of its components. You have the key given to you by the librarian. You know that all that you have left to do is to sever the connection between the powers that are and the librarian. Everything that he worked for, everything that he used to better himself, to power himself, to enhance himself and become closer to these occult powers. With the stroke of your blade, you will need to sever it. He will live, but everything that he has worked to become since joining the Hush House will be gone, and someone else will step in to take his place as the librarian, or librarians. I would like a roll of Night Arts from you, please. And this is where we roll a 100.
You already know.
Don't put that out there.
$42. That is a success.
You take your blade, your athaman. You look down at the librarian, and he smiles up at you. You drag the blade across the symbols, and you feel not blood, but power leaking from him, severing his connection to the aspects. You can feel the warmth of the forge, the light of the lantern, the power over what is open and what is shut from the key of knock. You can feel the beat of the heart. And with the blade and the little bit of a cut that you do leave on him, the blood of the grail and the sharpness of the edge, all coming together with the focus of the glasses, releasing a deep vibration outwards, resonating into the bones, down to the marrow of everyone around, including yourself, and pushing the crowned growth back. The door is open, but the librarian, with the last of his energy, moves to push it. Can I get a bit of help here? As he's just one man pushing against this door.
Right. Here. And she'll move forward to push.
And with the aid of Loretta, is anyone else going to join in as well?
Yeah, I'll shoulder my rifle and give it a shot.
Alrighty. With the aid of Loretta and the librarian, I would like Mr. Perler to please roll me physique with a plus 20.
Thank you for not making me roll. My 10 couldn't handle it.
So that's 23 out of 70, so I think we're doing pretty good.
You are indeed. Let me make one last roll for the crown growth.
Uh-oh, does the crown growth have a knife?
Oh, God. And as the crown growth tries to push back against the door, letting out a horrible, sickling bellow, you push the door and it finally snaps shut. The key shoved into the keyhole. The mare and the tree moving down to flow into the last bit of the opening, blowing a small kiss to the lot of you. Till next time, lovelies. And the door finally shuts, the key entering the keyhole and locking, latched. And you are victorious.
Yay.
And then you realize one thing. Nowhere is going to be sucked back into the door, as it were. Probably best not to be here when it does.
Mm-mm.
So I would like a roll of physique or dexterity for you all to run away.
I'm gonna use a die.
I'm gonna do my dexterity.
At this rate, I'm not going to have any skin left on my teeth.
Woo! 39 of 80.
That's incorrect. That is an incorrect number, period. That was a misclick.
Ooh.
Pretty sure that means you're diving head first into the door.
It's not God's winking or the devil's winking. It's they're wanking on me because that's not the correct
That's a
number.
whole different connotation.
Very much so.
Oh, I failed?
Use a die!
Can I? Would the red grail work here?
It would. Given that this is the blood pumping as you're all running for your fucking life.
Let's all make like brave Sir Robin.
I'm gonna use D4, a D4 from that,
Alrighty.
and I very lovingly pass.
Hold on. Let me see what we've got here. I guess I won't fail this time.
Are you sure?
Unless you want her to get eaten by whatever that is.
Absolutely not.
Wow. These all aren't that great. With feeling the energy from the various hours,
Yes.
could I tap into the kernel? Because we need to get the fuck out of there.
Indeed, especially with the scars that have been inflicted and opened. The power of the kernel is here. Utilizing the D4, I imagine?
Yep.
That's a good time to use it.
That is a 33.
And with that grand success, astonishing even, you all are able to book it up and out of this small oubliette of nowhere, pushing yourselves to leave the darkness as it is swallowed into the doorway. The path going from stairs quickly to grasslands, bog that has rapidly dried and left behind cracked earth and gnarled vines. And you find yourselves tumbling, working to just scramble and get away, until soon you all are back, not even within the Mansus, but within the Hush House. Just pushing your way through the archway and stumbling into the cold stone floor of this higher tower. You hear seagulls, the light washing of waves against the shore. And the rectory's bells chiming in with the Hush House's bells. And you feel warmth. The Hush House has seen the departure of the lantern season. and it is now a warm but gentle fall. The investigators find themselves in the tower where they first went waking into the Mansus. The crown growth has been locked away in nowhere once again, with so much energy expended. All of you, despite the fact that it looks like it's only about midday, maybe afternoon, you all feel exhausted. There is so much that you poured into of yourselves into this, so much focus and energy that it feels like you could probably lay down for a nap and sleep for a day or two. The librarian stumbles to his feet, looking much less put together, much more confused and unsure of himself as he looks to all of you. Did that work? Are we done?
I think so. Goodness. Is everyone alright?
I would like to believe so. At least I am.
It just took a lot out of me.
Oh. Yes.
I get the feeling we weren't supposed to walk away from all of that.
I mean, not all of us, certainly.
I'm gonna look
We
to
did.
see if anybody's missing.
While Loretta had one point where she was tripping up maybe a little bit, she caught back up and made it through with you. So everyone that you left with is here.
Oh, thank goodness.
Well, I think it is a time for celebration. I'll go and make the tea. And then the librarian just falls on his face.
Oh, good.
Oh dear.
Here. She'll offer him a hand.
Which he takes and then just adjusts his glasses. He's like, well, that... Huh.
Oh, I think it's more the time for rest and celebrate later.
Perhaps. What say we all take a short nap and maybe celebrate with a grand dinner? There's, I think, much to discuss. I think that the Hush House's future is going to be quite different than I originally thought.
I think wordlessly, Frederick is going to get up and hike back up to his room.
Frederick, you do notice one thing. That weapon that you had in the Mansus, that seemed to be almost too good to be true, almost unnatural. It is still with you.
You said it feels warm. Is there a way to check to make sure that this is the right door that we came through?
Yes,
We already
a roll
met.
of bright arts or night arts would probably help with that.
I will attempt a roll of night arts because we already met a librarian from another hush house. So, well, found. rather than met.
Also, can I assist, or can I do Ray Arts and assist?
I will say that you can, and you can choose to either give him a +10 or to roll it yourself.
I am going to roll it myself.
Okay.
Considering that I am still bleeding from the wounds I opened, I'm assuming, would I be able to use one of the D8s from the Red Grail?
Absolutely.
That is a pass.
All right.
For Night Arts specifically.
Okay. So the two of you, with your own take on things, can tell that this was the same archway. And it is the same history, though it's a history that seems to feel different. Something has changed. People are here that maybe were not supposed to be. A change has been made where someone has given up something intensely personal to them and has passed that power on to others. One librarian exits the hush house, and perhaps a new staff comes into play. But for the moment, these discussions will have to wait, as all of you are very exhausted. And a brief nap into the evening seems to be in order. The librarian looks to Loretta. Would you care to join me?
I think that could be arranged.
And he will smile and offer his arm to Loretta and walk with her back to his quarters. Everyone is able to head back to their own quarters. And you all sleep in a deep, intense sleep of the dead. Several hours pass by. The sun is now on its last wisps of light over the horizon. You all feel the beds being much more comfortable than you have felt in your entire stay here. It seems not just like a place to lay your head, but your own bed. A bed that you would have at home. And it feels like the hush house isn't just welcoming you as guests, but embracing you. It just feels different and warmer. More colorful, even. Loretta, when you wake up, you can see that the librarian, or Christopher, is still with you, though he is slowly stirring and his eyes are slowly beginning to open.
Good. And she checks her watch. Evening.
Good evening.
How are you feeling?
Weaker. Normal. A way I haven't felt in a decade, I think. Maybe a little more.
That a bad thing?
No, I think this is a very good thing.
I think it might be for you too.
I think so. And he will look out the window to look at the last wisps of sunshine. Sunset. It's the end of the day, beginning of night. the promise of something new to come. I think I'm going to have another book to write soon. Would you help me edit it?
I think with my expertise, I might be able to help. My services don't come cheap, though. I hope you know that.
Well, of course, I would offer so much unto you, but most of what I had belongs to the Hush House, and I'm afraid all I have right now is my companionship.
I guess we could work out a payment plan with companionship.
Fantastic. Would you be willing to help me in the kitchen? I don't feel I'm able to be as quick as I once was.
You lose your power, you lose your step, your grace, and your speed. However, will you survive like us mortal folk?
I guess I'll just have to go by on my good looks.
You're not bad. She cracks a smirk, and she's gonna go and kind of like help him out of bed.
All right. Oh, things are popping that haven't popped in a decade. All right.
Oh, slow, ungraceful, and old. You're really relying on those heavy good looks of yours now, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, I am. And he will get out of bed and, with your help, make his way down into the kitchen. Everyone else begins to wake up as well, having slept a completely dreamless but restful sleep. That nap having been more restful and more satiating than perhaps the entire nights of sleep you've gotten since you came to the Hush House. And as you make your way down to the dining room, the librarian makes his way out with a collection of small, quickly made scones and tea that had been brewed fairly quickly. Oh, I'm sorry if you... Dinner might be a little while, though perhaps if you all would be willing to assist, it could be done a little bit quicker.
Oh, yes.
More hands make less work, you know.
Now's gonna roll up her sleeves and go wash her hands so she can help.
Fantastic. Is anyone else going to join in and assist with cooking?
Frederick is face down in his bed. No, wait, has the napping period since ended? Are we just giving up on that entirely?
The napping period has since largely ended, and again, the nap was perhaps better than the full nights of sleep that you've gotten since you first came here.
Okay.
But you are free to get up and feel very refreshed and ready for dinner.
Yeah, sure. He'll head downstairs and participate in that.
Excellent. Mr. Rosalie, Mr. Roderick.
Sister Rosalie is either cooking there and cooking like a whole bunch of things, or she's going to be at the church cooking a lot to kind of basically provide food for the community.
Roderick's actually going to tend to the wounds that he opened. I don't think that would be a very good mix for the cooking.
Fair enough. I will take a medicine check with that.
Okay. Copper isn't really a spice. That is a success. His medicine is 55.
You're quickly able to get the wound wrapped up. But as you put the last bit of the bandage across it, you notice that the wound is already beginning to knit. It is not bleeding anymore, and the opening is closing. But the bandage goes over it quickly, and you feel like it will be healing rather rapidly.
Okay. He would have paused for a second before. Better safe than sorry, and finish that binding.
And you head on down, and everyone assists with the cooking, with Sister Rosalie able to utilize the church to make a much larger meal, and the hush house opens up. The people of Braunkrug come in and get a little bit of food. It becomes more of a large, sort of impromptu festival for everyone on the island. You can see the sailors, the postmistress, various other individuals all coming and getting food, sharing stories, laughing, paying a few bits of pence here and there for all of you. And just the air is warm and kind. And you feel safer. As it gets deeper into the evening, most of the people leave, the only ones that stay behind being the lot of you and Captain Wellen, who has decided to enjoy a bit of his pipe with the lot of you. So I take it that things were successful.
Yes. No.
It's good to hear. And no casualties, I see.
No, thank goodness.
It seems that you had a lot of people in your corner, as it were. Mr. Perler, did that little gift that I sent in assist you?
It was a gift.
A show of goodwill. And perhaps a bit of a hoping to sway you to one way or another, one path or another. And he just smiles and just taps his chest, and you swear you hear a small metallic, clanging as he does.
I think it was excellent. It was very helpful.
Good. Do know that if you should ever need anything like that again, do just let me know. I have taken it upon myself to enjoy creating more than destroying these days. Perhaps, if you'd like, you could join me in my forge on occasion. Luca?
I might have had a connection issue there. What?
He just said, perhaps you might wish to join me in my forge one of these days to also enjoy the creation rather than destruction.
Frederick is rolling up his sleeves And he stops before he gets to the washing up, and he thinks, he says out loud, I'll have to weather the heat and give it a shot.
Excellent. I'd love to have you there. And he just settles back and enjoys his pipe while the librarian, who has also introduced himself to the rest of you, being Christopher Alopoli. He has made sure to, through the night, ask that you all call him by his name as he says, well, I suppose that was my resignation tendered. With what I gave up, am no longer the librarian. I have given up everything that I have learned at the Hush House, all of the rituals and the skills. I have the memories, but the Hush House needs new people to be able to look after it. To go out seeking for things to catalog, to protect it, to nurture it, and guide the people here. To find what has been forgotten and make sure that it is always finding a place to reside here.
Don't you suggest something as lurid and god-awful as a job application now, Alopoli?
Not an application so much as just a choice. The key is... well, you all have the key, don't you?
We need to give it back.
Well, I think the Hush House, if you wish to give it back, will accept it. But I think it would very much like for you to have it. It's a large building for one person to handle. I think perhaps a live-in staff would be more appropriate.
Oh, goodness.
Do you think it'll pick who it wants?
I think anyone who has a key is who it wants. And he just turns out his pockets and shows that they are empty. It's taken its key from me. I'm a guest here.
Just gonna slide like my hand into the pocket of my skirt because this is fantasy. Fuck you, my skirt has pockets.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. There is a key in your pocket. The same key that he gave you on the first night here. And anyone who checks their pockets finds that there is a key much like it as well.
Oh.
Huh. Even Sister Rosalie, who somehow has a key within her habit.
I think we did say that it had pockets.
It does have pockets.
I do believe habits have pockets.
Pockets everywhere.
Yay, pockets.
The best thing in the world.
It seems that the Hush House would like to extend the offer for all of you to be its staff.
That sounds great to me.
This will mean selecting a new librarian, yes?
Someone to maybe take the title, though you all would have a bit of the perks. The Hush House would welcome you all gladly, readily. you all would have free access to the grounds and all of the various accessories and rooms within the Hush House to utilize as you see fit. As long as you keep up with your various duties, which I assume that you all would be able to assign yourselves, then it will be glad to have you.
But we wouldn't be able to leave.
You can leave. The Hush House, it misses those that are on its staff. But it won't demand that you stay.
And what of you, Mr. Alapoli? Are you staying? Are you leaving?
I think I would like to travel. I spent so much of my life having gone from the Americas to the Empire and back and forth and finally stopping here. I think I would like to explore beyond what I've been to before. And I have a new book that I'm going to be working on as I do it. And I think if she would be with me, someone on staff could go out and collect things to send back to the Hush House as well. And he looks to Loretta.
I think I would like it a lot.
Thank you. But yes, if you all would stay on staff, you all would be free to come and go. Some of your duties might take you outside of it, true, to perhaps spread the word, find more visitors that would like to come in, or to perform unique rites for those who need it.
And if I wanted to keep going upward and outward, he glances at Welland. Is that an option as staff of the Hush House?
Of course. There are many staff who fully became long or names. You could easily find your own way to ascend here.
Roderick's just gonna adjust his glasses on his nose. I mean, the amount of things I could learn just in the house alone. Maybe not forever, but I could definitely stay a while.
Might be a good place to get away from church, its followers, if I ever need to.
Very true. And there are the shrines here that would still enjoy being maintained, I imagine.
When I'm not traveling, I could come back and take care of it.
It does seem that the house has a good support structure. She kind of gestures to everyone.
Indeed.
As long as I could go see my grandmother occasionally. Maybe travel a bit myself. Well, not all the time, obviously.
Of course.
Do rather like it here.
I'm glad. I chose to leave everything behind, to leave the world behind and be left behind by it. But I think that doesn't have to be the case for all of you.
I sure hope not.
No.
I'll stay. I came here because I wanted to paint more anyways, and I haven't really had the time to do it since arriving, so even if I wasn't going to be staff, I'd probably stick around on the island. And for that matter, there's nothing for me in the Americas anymore, so I guess it has to be here.
Wonderful. I know that the Hush House would also appreciate you as a protector on this side of things. Professor Hengers is good when she is able to be here, but for the most part, she is focused on things within the Mansus.
That's true, I still owe her a carcass as well.
Well, should you find anyone trying to steal anything from this place, as there have been a few who tried to abscond with our books, perhaps you can give her what she's due.
When he says that, Loretta kind of, her eyes go back and forth between him and her bag. And she hides the bag behind her body and says, who would ever steal books from this library?
Dear, you do know lying is a sin.
So is working on Sunday, sister. But here we are.
What is it?
You just, the librarian just checks the calendar. Christopher just looks at it, it's like, oh, it is Sunday.
Oh, goodness.
Well, I don't really consider what we just did was work. I consider it a form of praying.
Well, I'm definitely set to say.
Fantastic. Mr. Kane, one thing I will mention to you, there has been a few doors that I have not been able to quite unlock yet. There are missing keys and rooms that need to be cleared out a little bit. Perhaps that could be something you endeavor to do. I think there's actually a bit of a subterranean vault that is just itching to be opened.
Well, you didn't have to make the deal sweeter, but now that you've said that. And if people still want the freedom to come and go, I can take on the, I guess, sacrifices of becoming the librarian so that others can hold on to the things that they want to hold on to.
It does seem like something that would rather suit you.
Like I said, I could lose myself in this place alone.
I do hope you're not doing this on my behalf.
No, this is equal parts selfish as it is selfless.
Well, I'm not leaving the island. All I am is, well, kind of a priestess now. I take care of the church.
Now you don't have to stretch yourself too thin.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I think it's teamwork.
That does sound like it is what the Hush House wants, is teamwork. And look how far we got as a team.
Who would have thought?
We did seal away multiple what would be gods.
That gets Captain Wallon looking up. Wait, more than one?
We did meet someone who had a bit, how would you say it, dear? She's gonna look at Loretta. Loretta?
Oh, the mayor in the tree?
Yes, how would you describe her features? Not really.
Equine.
Sorry, there are some times where I'm very much at a loss for words when it comes to strange things. Not always. But yes, she had a bit equine features.
One would maybe compare her to satyrs. Equestrian features of some sort. Some in the shape of a goat. But I've seen more of some satyrs taking on horse-like hooves.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see what the future plays in terms of her.
She is watching over us. Most likely.
I would be careful with that one. She's tricky. Perilous.
She's bored.
And that's worse. She's been connected to gossip, seduction.
How so?
Like, she likes to encourage others to... How would one put it? Just throw shit at a wall and see what happens.
I was going to say rock the boat.
That too would work.
The key. Oh, sorry.
She gets bored easily, and then bad things happen.
Oh,
The key that Rowena.
Go ahead.
The key that Rowena let us use is the key of the mayor. So, probably a really good idea that we didn't give in into letting her use it.
That's
we need to
correct.
give that back.
When the next season comes, we will give it back.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, anxious.
No, it's all right, dear. We are to hold on to it until the next season's done.
It's all still new.
It's all right. Make sure to come by the church. I'll teach you more.
I would like that.
Perhaps you could teach the sister to dance, Mrs. McLeod.
I could.
Sure. It's been... I don't think I've ever danced.
It's rather fun. And rather freeing.
There are certain things in my vows. I guess at the time I believed I couldn't, but now it would seem that I could.
Dance is also a form of worship in some places.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
She'll just take her by the hand, give it a squeeze, and give her a big old smile. I'll teach you to dance, and you teach me more about all of this.
about the unconquered sun and all the hours.
Sounds like a wonderful way to spend your evenings. Days, evenings, whatever.
Imagine that they are exclusive to each other.
Fair enough. I think I'll be sure to send a few manuscripts back here, or perhaps letters. Perhaps my book will just be a collection of my writings as I travel, as opposed to a longer, cohesive thing. Maybe a diary. Would you all mind being the first to read it when I'm done with it?
You
I
like
would
to
feel
read?
honored.
Yes.
Would be my treat.
Thank you. It won't. I don't think it will be cohesive enough to truly have a place here in the bookshelves of the Hush House, but
Nothing has a place on the shelves of the Hush House. They're all nonsense.
Just some.
Right, I
Perhaps
think
you
we
need.
would be.
Perhaps you also need to spend some time in the church learning.
I think it might be for us to judge what belongs on the shelves from now on. Sorry, that was presumptuous. I just meant that I think it would be lovely to be on the shelves here.
Well, we
Yeah.
shall see.
Be a beautiful way to be preserved. The written
Also to
word.
pass on
is-
knowledge.
Oh, definitely. The written word is a very powerful thing.
True. I think I've been workshopping a name. The Sunset Diaries.
Oh,
I've had my day in the sun, and now it's time for things to pass on.
Do your best to make sure it is a beautiful sunset.
I don't
Let's have
think
a nice
that there
read to it.
should. I don't think there should ever be a sunset that isn't beautiful. But with good company and good sights, I think that will be easy to achieve.
Mhm.
Well, with all this talk of travel and moving along, and I think it might be time for us to pack up and move along.
I think so too. Captain Welland, would you? And he's already standing. Already on it. I'll get the boat put together. Just the two of you will be much easier. Won't have to have the whole crew with us.
And who knows, maybe this time we don't have to save someone who fell overboard. And she looked at Helena and
Oh,
a crack smothered grin.
blush.
To be fair, it kind of looked like it's not so much that Helena fell overboard as it is the ship kind of entered a state of perpetual overboard.
Oh, yes. I was actually not on deck when it happened. But but yes, hopefully your travels this time will be less eventful.
Or maybe even more.
Oh dear, goodness gracious.
Trouble likes to follow me around. Like it's a long lost child and I'm its mom. So
Loretta, my dear, you are trouble.
Me? Never. You hear that blasphemy? I will not stand for it.
I would not call anything blasphemy in front of a sister.
I will not stand for this. And then she takes a seat.
Beat me to it.
Nonetheless, please do keep this place safe, everybody.
Yes.
It was good to meet you all. And I sure hope that whatever it is that you all found yourself here for, if you haven't found it yet, you find it in your days to come. So, I must go, say my goodbyes for now. But you haven't seen the last of me yet.
I certainly hope not.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be here every now and again. Just, I'm sorry in advance.
That's all right. I'm going to need to practice becoming vaguely threatening.
I can help with that.
Okay. Would you like some tea? It isn't poisoned this time. That's a good start.
It's a very good start.
Christopher just looks to Loretta. Was I really that threatening or off-putting?
Just vaguely.
I found you rather pleasant myself, but what do I know?
I suppose that might just be what this place does to you when it gives you the ability to omni-locate within it.
And it was less that you were the threat, more of the things you knew about
See, that makes sense.
were threatening. Yeah.
And now there are things that a lot of you will have the ability to know about. The books and all their cataloged ways, translated. Some of them still need a bit of work, but they are all open to you. Learn what you will, or don't. But just be there for one another. It's lonely with only one person here, so I think it would be good for all of you to make sure that you stick together, much like as you are.
Yeah.
Well, I think that I have been sappy for long enough, and he will get up and begin to gather up the plates and platters.
Oh, let me help you there.
Oh, thank you. And he gathers everything up with the help of Miss McLeod and heads into the kitchen washroom, where he will look to her as he is working to wash up. I don't know why the Hush House brought you here. Perhaps it was just the way that it felt the Thunderskin reaching out to you. Perhaps it had other things in mind. But I'm very glad that it has someone like you to be here. A heart to go with the mind, body, and soul.
Well, it might have been frightening on several occasions, but it saved me from much darker outcome, and I will always be grateful.
I definitely think that it will be grateful to you as well. And it will show its appreciation on more occasions than not. Be good to it, and it will be good to you.
Absolutely. I'd love to let my grandmother see this place. She would love it.
We are always accepting guests. They need not always just come here for esoteric purposes.
Who knows? We might find a door that we could perform a little trick with and make that trip easy.
I do have one question.
If I can, I will answer it.
Pets allowed?
He just smiles brightly and then will move to the other side of a door and just give a loud whistle with the two fingers in his mouth. And you hear a long, lanky sort of like plodding. And you see a very droopy basset hound make his way into the kitchen area.
Oh. If he would let her, she could give lovins to the pupper.
He is just going to sit there with very big, tired-looking eyes, just sort of staring at you, but letting you rub all over his very droopy face.
Give me a kiss on the top of the head. I was just, I'm relieved because I have a dog myself. His name is Hades. He's a pit bull terrier, puppy. Well, he's probably not a puppy anymore, but he was when I left.
The Hush House welcomes all who wish to remain here, be they four-legged, two-legged, or otherwise. Speaking of, the far cell in the very back end of the house does have a few serpents within it.
Oh.
Don't worry, they're quite friendly so long as you bring them an egg to enjoy.
Oh. All right, then.
Oh,
Sure.
and the apiary, where we have in the far tower, also has a, I suppose most would call it an axolotl. Though it does not like the water, it likes to hang out akin to how a parakeet would.
Oh. Goodness.
As long as you bring him meat, he will be pleased.
That is good to know. I think I'm going to like it here.
I'm very glad to hear that.
We should get these dishes cleaned.
Very much so. Once the dishes are cleaned, he will head back up to his room with Loretta, pack things up, and then we'll head back to the entryway where the Hush House has, through empathic vibrations across the mind and soul of each of you, politely asked all of you to see him off.
We can probably, if he's packing up and heading out, he'll be by the what is the word? The Cucurbit Bridge, the bridge from the gatehouse to the Hush House itself.
Correct.
So I figure I'd wait to meet him there.
Fair enough. He looks to everyone who is there and just is all smiles. More genuine, kind, soft smiles than the sort of practiced, polite one that he had for the longest time. It's truly been wonderful to get to know and meet all of you. I had sort of resigned myself to this kind of existence, this being the librarian. It was something to have, something to keep me busy. But I think the Hush House will truly begin to live, thrive with all of you here. It will become something greater, something purer and happier, I think. It may even become fully benevolent. Who's to say? I promise we'll not stay away too long. I do like to come back here. I like the people of Brown Crook. But I do think I need to stretch my legs and see lands far beyond the scope of what I've witnessed before. Maybe it would be nice to actually use some of the practical languages that I've gotten to know over the years. Sister Rosalie,
Yes.
may the unconquered sun shine forever upon you and your works.
May it shine forever upon you and your works.
Miss McLeod,
Yes.
do take care of yourself, not just the animals, yes?
Yeah, I will do my best.
Good. Never let
as well.
anyone stop you from doing as you see fit, as you like. Your life is yours to lead, after all.
Oh, it's going to take some getting used to.
Mr. Kane,
Yes.
never let that drive to know, to find, die. Too many are content to let things become lost, mired in history. Be the historian that I know that you are. Let things be remembered. Let truth ring.
And he'll just smile a little bit at that.
And he will move over to Mr. Perler. Mr. Perler,
Mr. Elopoli.
I do hope that you didn't include my own works in your saying that most of the books were nonsense on the Hush House's library proper.
You know, the other nuts who like reading this sort of topic, they call you the only readable occultist, so I think you have something to be proud of. And on that note, and he produces, stinky like his socks, from his socks, his switchblade, closed. This is not like me drawing a blade on Elopoli. This is me pulling the closed knife out, and he hands it to Elopoli and says, "Take this with you on your travels. Think of us once in a while, and don't draw it unless you're certain you will use it."
He looks it over and then will tuck it away into a jacket pocket for the time being until he gets used to having a knife in his boot. I'll be sure to do exactly that. It never really resonated with me, the use of weapons. But I have something to protect now.
I think it's going to get a nod from Mr. Perler, and he'll let him on his way.
Take care of yourself. And he will then move back with his luggage to Loretta. Miss Payne.
Are you ready to go?
I am. It's going to be odd seeing Brunkrug fade away.
Only for a short while. What's life if you can't live?
It's just existing. And I think I'd very much like to live now. He picks up his luggage and looks to Loretta, smiling.
Well, everybody, don't trash the place. Please don't set it on fire because I'm pretty sure the building will fight back.
Oh, it will. Undeniably so. It will find ways to drop things on you or trip you up in the most obtuse of ways. You don't want your eulogy to end with, "It was hilarious." The Hush House will make that happen.
And save a couple books for me for when I get back.
You mean you didn't just put them all into your carry-on?
You know, you don't need to be so sassy with me right now. You're going to be spending a lot of alone time with me. And I have a lot of patience.
I fear the switchblade will come in handy.
Possibly. And you go ahead.
I hardly think a switchblade would be necessary.
Oh, God above, I hope so. And with that, he and Loretta will head down to the docks proper, down the rather rickety steps from the village of Brunkrug to the dock, and onto the boat, where Welland is waiting for them. So where first? The Empire or headed somewhere else?
How about New Orleans? I got some stuff I gotta take care of at home before we really go out. And she smiles.
Christopher just like smirks and then looks to the captain. Think you could get us there soon? And he just smiles softly. I think that the ship could handle it. And he just pushes the lever forward to get speed built up, and then beyond it to a bunch of esoteric symbols that show the boat just beginning to cut its way through the waters. The rest of you are left at the end of the bridge with the Hush House yawning over you, opening its doors like open arms, welcoming you back in, welcoming you from what was a place that you just came to out of curiosity, out of intense boredom, or out of necessity. And now you can go in out of a want to be home. And that is where we are going to end the Nowhere history.